recording and be present. I try to do that as best as I can and like redirect myself back. So I think I'll start with the serenity prayer just because why not? So God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. I am still working on that every day. I want to change the things that I can't change. And then sometimes the things I can change, I shy away from, but sometimes it's in reverse as well. So that's good. But I definitely have come like a long way from when I first started EA. In December, it will be my fourth year in the program. So I was like, time flies. But sort of. I don't know. It maybe has felt like 4 years, and now I'm getting older. When I first started the program, I was like, something I was really like, I don't know, insecure is the word, but just like that bothered me was that I was like young. And I was just like, I don't know, like I should be like, um, out clubbing, blah blah blah. Right now I'm 27, so I just felt like this isn't the life that I want, like or that you see like in TV and things like that. I'm going to recovery meetings like with people mostly who are not around my age group. It just was not something I felt like was fun. But I just realized like I really haven't felt that way in a while, so that's good. It's just kind of like my norm. Um, I'm also getting a little older, but so yeah. When I first came to EA, I was like I would say a semi-retired crash out. So for those who don't know what like a crash out is, it's like basically just emotions all over the place. You maybe go off on people. That's something like Gen Z we use a lot. So I was like a little better, but I still very much so had some ways in November before I joined. It was like this huge emotional incident that had happened. Um and so I think I was like at a low point, not my lowest, but a low point. And then I was in DBT at the time, which is like it was a group therapy experience. And this girl ended up mentioning EA, and that she had participated in it and was like, I recommend it. And that's how I found EA. Otherwise, I don't know. Well, who knows where I would be, but I don't have to spend much time thinking about that because it happened. And oddly enough, she just kind of like fizzled away. I tried to like make a friendship because we both have brothers on the spectrum, but she didn't. But I guess she was just meant for to drop that little nugget on my life, which is a big nugget. So yeah, some of the people like I consider closest to me are in this program, so I'm grateful for that. And so the program, how it's helped me, I would say, is like definitely repetition. Like you get the steps, the just for today's, those are like some of my favorites. And just like going through those, I'm gonna pull them up. So let me get that together. But just going through those, like at first, like when I first ever went to my first 12-step meeting, which was when I was in grad school, actually, I was like, why are they reading all these things? Like, and I still kind of felt that way. Like they do this every meeting. And like it just felt a little like I don't know, unnecessary. But I think it is nice because now, like, I know them all, and they do each have its purpose, and like sometimes different things like jump out to me. So, like, the slogans are something that I would say has grown on me, and something I often worry about is like oh, I wonder if like where I'm at right now is because I'm on medicine. Like so if I'm not taking medicine, like would I still be like this? But then I realized like, well, I have a choice. Like no one's like making me take medicine or no one's making me come to meetings or do all these things, go to therapy. So like I'm choosing to do all these things for my betterment. And it was a point where I wasn't doing that. So I'm grateful for that and like have to give myself some credit, and the program credit as well. The Today book is also something that I really do enjoy. I don't know, it's very good readings in there. I have like a whole bunch of pages like earmarked. I'm a person, I don't mind being transparent. So I would say like I haven't been reading it like I used to be, and I'm like, dang, like what's happening to me? Because I really do enjoy it, but I'm also a clutterer. So once it's lost, it's like who knows where it is. So that's half the battle sometimes. So that's something I want to get back in. But um for me, what all that says though is I'm not even through the 12 steps yet. I haven't made it. I know. But it's like I've already experienced serenity and stuff just this far by like coming to meetings, having a sponsor, things I do, getting up to the fourth step, and like I already have serenity. So like imagine if I actually applied myself and like went through the whole 12 steps, was always more tried to be more present in meetings, but like that's how impactful like this program is for me. So I would say some of the promises, my favorite promise is 10. We intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. And I realized that one, like, it was me and my mom, like, we had a tumultuous relationship growing up. It was just always arguments, I guess, typical teenage daughter mom stuff. And I had no hope for our relationship. Like since I was a teenager, I was like, it's always gonna be like this. And I would tell her that. And then so 10, it was like one day we're like, I don't know, she was doing something to get off my nerves. And I knew how to handle it differently. Like I wasn't gonna go about my normal response pattern, which was like big. And that's why I was like, wait, I heard this before. And so that one, like, I really do appreciate because that's just something that I would experience a lot, like having drama in the family and still to this day, but like I don't always have to give the same energy back or the same response that I normally would. And that's something, not even just with my mom, but like in general, when I had conflict with other people, which maybe was a lot, um, I like I can't even remember exactly how I said it, which is a good thing, but also kind of crazy because it used to just like slide off my tongue. But I don't know if like you've heard like Michelle Obama's like when they go low, we go high. And I would say like if you go low, I'm taking it to hell or something like that. And I always felt like I don't start it, but I definitely will finish it. And a lot of that is, I don't know, I just have like my mouth can be a little slick, and I would just feel like, well, I'm just better at arguing than you. I don't know, I'm sorry. So, but I don't do that anymore. At least most of the time, not as much, just because someone says something, I don't have to take it to hell. Maybe I beat them or just don't say anything. And something I'm working on right now is like not having to give everything a response. And that's like both online and in person because Twitter was a really bad thing for me. I would go back and forth with people, which part of me I would say like is just because I enjoy discourse. I like talking to people. Anybody that knows me on the phone, it's probably gonna be an hour long. Um, and so I just like enjoy talking, but it would end up being as Twitter. You end up throwing stones at people you've never even seen, going back and forth. So now I've learned to just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna stop responding because clearly this person's not gonna understand. It's not worth it. And like, y'all, it got bad to the point where like I am blocked by quite a few people on Twitter. It still makes me sad a little bit because like, dang, I was that bad, or like, what did I do? And I want to know like what tweet was it that I said? But I don't know, but I'm not there anymore, which is a good thing because I really was like just so consumed by that. And then like another thing is like arguing with people, or like a really big thing for me is when I feel like someone's in the wrong. Like I want justice in every aspect, or like want that person to be called out. And yesterday, like I was just talking about with my sponsor, like Do I want to be right or have peace? Which is a crazy thing to even like, I guess, be thinking about. And like, I still struggle with it a little, but ultimately, I think I do want peace. And I was like, but I'm just supposed to be okay with that. Like, I'm just supposed to be okay with someone like thinking that they're right and they're not. But then I thought about like, I am a spiritual person. My higher power I identify as God is like God will take care of it. Or even for other people, like the universe. What goes around comes around. So I don't have to. If I spend my life always trying to make sure that things justice is sought or whatever, I'm gonna be miserable and very busy, and it's not slimming my body down. So, but lots of exercise. So instead, I just choose to work on what I can control, which is myself. And gratitude is another thing that the program has brought me. Like just practicing that. I remember like growing up when I was a kid, like at my church, they would like have us do gratitude and they would be like, oh, I don't even, like, I wouldn't know when to stop. And I would be like, what's wrong with these people? Like, I don't know. Even though, and I grew up not well, like wealthy, but like I had nice things, never missed a meal. But I was like, I could stop. I could think of it. And so gratitude just wasn't something that I really felt. But now there's a meeting that I go to pretty regularly when I'm working during the school year. That's at 6:30 a.m. and they do gratitude at the end of every meeting. And so now it really is something that's like a part of my life. But if you would have told me like 5, 6 years ago that I would be doing gratitude daily, I would be like, you're crazy. Like, and I have different things to share. Like, it's not even the same thing all the time, which is one of the slogans, like, look for the good. And so it really is like just a helpful program. And I think what helps too is like, I'm not in charge. No one's in charge. That's something that I would say I struggle with, wanting to take charge. And sometimes that can lead me like to feel away. But at program, it's not like that. It's like service. You pitch in when you can. Everybody's equal. And then, what is it? Oh, I feel like it also encouraged me to like be a better person because like my family, we are like gossips, I would say, which is something I kind of want to fit, fix, fix about myself. But in program, it's like we don't talk about one another. And so that's something that I have always like held true because I don't know, it's one of the traditions or concepts. And so I don't talk about other people, And sometimes maybe there's been times where like somebody did something that did like what? But I just let it be. Like I didn't say anything. But if had that been like any other kind of setting, I probably will go and be like, man, can you believe what so and so did? And so like just even doing that. And it also has made me grow like understanding and empathy for people who are like different from me and things of that nature. So, and which is also promise 9, our relationships with other people improve. And then I do feel like I do know a peace of mind. My self-seeking is slipping away a little bit. I'm still actually recently it has been like a lot of it. So that is good. But it's just nice to like have the promises. And like I would say right now, I really am in a space of freedom and happiness. Something I haven't talked about, which is maybe a little crazy, is that like part of what brought me to program so growing up, I always had like emotional issues, I would say. Like, but in 2020, I lost my cousin. And that was like a really big thing for me. And that just kind of led me to feeling like really lonely and isolated because I knew her like my whole life. And she was like my best friend, and I was more of a like introverted person. So it's still something that I'm dealing with. It'll actually be 6 years in just a couple weeks, which is like crazy. But I would say like through EA, I kind of found like a new family, and like people to lean on. But I would say that was kind of what led to the spiral a bit because like I said, I always had emotional problems, so that just kind of exacerbated it. And now like I didn't have like my safe person to confide in. And so it was like I really don't want to be here. Like I didn't want to be here before. Now I really don't want to be here, and like really meant it. And like yeah. I don't want to like trigger anyone, so I will go like as graphic, but like it really was like bad, had attempts, things like that. But like I'm still here today. And now I'm finally in a place where I'm like, okay, I am happy with life. Cause even still just like maybe a year or so ago, I was just loneliness was like a really big trigger for me. And that was something that bothered me. But um through meeting with my sponsor, it was like that really was something that helped because it was like every time we got on the phone, I would probably end up laughing, which is a really good thing. Laughter like is really healing for me. And then that also kind of like brought me into church, which was in hopes to meet with other young adults. They're a little raggedy. But they're like cliquish. But the church is amazing. So, it all worked out in some shape or form. And so I'm just grateful for that and like to have, the connection that I do have now with God. And like I am starting now the steps and gonna continue through it. This was probably like my third or fourth time. And so I'm like looking forward to see like all the more that like I can even gain in the program. And I'm finally in a space where I'm like, okay, I may sponsor somebody at some point, which is really huge for me and really scary. But because I tried a co-sponsor thing, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I just need somebody to pour into me. I wasn't really trying to show up for someone else, if I'm being honest. But now I'm like in that space of like being willing to, which is really by the grace of God. So yeah, and I would say that's it. I also really do like the just for today's. I try to practice them here or there, like focusing on one thing at a time, one day. And that's something like even when I was having rough days, I would break it down like 1 hour, 1 minute, like you just make it through this 30-minute increment, and that would get me through. And then lastly, always I will have a program. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have it. And I do always have it. And dang, it was, let me see. Oh, no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we see how our experience can benefit others. That one, like, I really appreciate. Because, like, I felt like I really was, like, this bad person. Like I said, I was a crash out. And so I was just like, well, then, do I not deserve to live? But it's like, no, because my story will help someone someday. And other people have experienced that. So, yeah, thank you for letting me share. With that, I pass.
Brava, 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 Taya.